Hey, what's going on, guys? Good morning and happy Friday, Flex Friday at that. Got some more NBA player props for y'all here today on PrizePicks. I've got 4 plays for y'all today. Let's see. 3 of them are going to be first halves, 1 full game. So that's what we're looking at today. I'm going to try and not make this video super long and talk too much about, nonsense. So, quick recap of yesterday's plays. On the official plays I gave, we went 1 for 1. I did throw out Malachi Branham over his fantasy score, just kind of if you wanted it. I took it, of course. Like I said, I did take it. He didn't hit. He actually had a pretty terrible game. But the 2 that we really gave out officially were Trey Jones over his 31.5 fantasy score, cleared that. Jimmy Butler over his fantasy score of 42.5, and man, he was well on his way there. It ended up being a blowout. He sat the fourth quarter. He ended up with 36.6. We just needed 6 more fantasy points. So we were well on our way there. Didn't get it. Credit to him. He had an awesome game. You deserve to sit the fourth quarter when you have a game like that. So, didn't hit there. Went 1 for 1, 1 for 2 if you took the Malachi Branham toss up right there. Anyways, on to today. Remember, guys, if you are not signed up with PrizePicks, please use this promo code right here down below. Get that first deposit instantly matched up to $100. Also, today is Flex Friday, so after for me it's 10:30 Central Time. But after that, your first flex entry is credited. You can get it refunded up to $20 if it doesn't hit. So absolutely take advantage of that today. I got 4 picks for y'all. So, maybe toss a couple of these in there if you like them, if not all of them. So let's hop right into it. The first pick I've got, we'll get the full gamer out of the way really quick. And it's going to be Sengun over his 38.5 fantasy score. So a couple things here to look at. Going up against Charlotte tonight, 229 over under. Got Houston by 2.5. So Houston's favored to win this. Charlotte, if we look at the lineup here, the projected lineup, they're pretty beat up. A lot of their guys are sitting or injured, if not both. So this ought to be a pretty good spot for Sengun to take advantage. He did play them back in January. He dropped 53.4 against them, fantasy points against them. And he goes over this in 4 of his last 8 games, so 50%. So that's not like super appealing right there. But like I said, it's tonight's matchup that ought to be really, really good. If we take a look at the matchup against the center position points, we take a look at points, and Charlotte is going to sit right here, giving up the second most points. Rebounds, they're giving up the most rebounds. Assists, they're giving up the 10th most assist right down here, and fantasy points right here at the top, giving up the most fantasy points to the center position all season long. This ought to be a really good spot for him to take advantage once again, like he did in January. And I've got him going over this. So that's going to be our only full gamer today. So Sengun over his 38.5 fantasy score. Let's hop over here to the first half category. If you guys are new to PrizePicks, you can find the NBA first half right up here with all of the different sports categories. NBA is full game, NBA 1H. That is going to be first half. So the first one, and these get really fun because that first one, that Houston-Charlotte game, should just be like a fun game. Neither of them are really playing for anything, just except to be competitive. These next 3 plays, their games have huge, huge playoff implications. So that's where it gets really fun. So the first one is going to be Brandon Ingram. They haven't dropped his fantasy score yet. I'm sure I'll love it. But for now, I'm going over his first half, 19.5 PRA. So a lot to dig into here. You can skip forward a minute if you don't want to hear it, but it's really cool. So he's going up against the Knicks tonight. It's a 224.5 over under New Orleans by 8. Now the Knicks do not have Julius Randle or Jalen Brunson playing tonight, of course. They've got all their other guys that showed out the other night against, Detroit. So got New Orleans has a ton to play for. The Knicks shouldn't, if we take a quick look right here, I want to show you guys the playoff picture if it ended today. So the Knicks shouldn't really, I don't think they have a lot to play for. So they're 4, from the 4s, they sit at the 5 seed. They're 4 games behind Cleveland, so they can't take the 4 seed even if they won out because there's only 2 games left. And then from the 6 seed, they're 3 games ahead, so there's only 2 games left. So they're safe at the 5 seed. They should be resting their guys. However, New Orleans there's a ton to talk about with New Orleans here. So, like I said, New Orleans is picked to win by 8. I do not see. They did lose their last matchup to the Knicks, but that was with Randall and Brunson, each dropping over 20 points. But I could see New Orleans running away with this by well more than 8. They've been playing awesome ball lately, winning 8 of their last 10 games, and they have a ton on the line. They can actually steal this 6th seed from Golden State. So right here they're at the 8th on the play-in tournament. They can steal the 6th seed from Golden State if they win both of their last games and Golden State loses just one of their next 2 against Sacramento tonight or Portland, because that would put them at a tied record if New Orleans wins out and then Golden State wins just one of their next 2. They would have a tied record. New Orleans has rights to a tiebreaker over Golden State. Now, of course, LA comes into play a little bit on that as well because they have to jump them at the 7th seed, who also owns rights over Golden State. But either way, New Orleans, in the meantime, they must win out if they want a playoff guaranteed spot and a steal from Golden State. So there's that. If we look at Ingram's game log, he's going to go over this PRA right here. Like I said, we take a look. The number to get here is 19.6 or higher. So take a look at this. He's going to go over this 11 of 14 times. His last 14 games, he goes over 11 times. If we take a look at the DVP right here against this small forward position, if we look on the season, we're looking for the Knicks here. So the Knicks are giving up the most points to the small forward position. Rebounds, they're giving up the 11th most, right down here. They're 11th in rebounds. So they're not offering up a ton of rebounds. They're 19th most, so 11th in rebounds. But then their assists, of course, they are giving up the 4th most assists to the small forward position. Now, like I said, I do see this being a blowout. That's why I don't like the full game here. I don't know if I'm actually even going to like his fantasy score, because if we look, he has actually a few more turnovers than he does like blocks and steals in the first half. He has, anywhere from 1 to 4 turnovers and usually 0 to 1 blocks and steals. So I may just stick with his PRA even when the fantasy score drops. So anyways, he's going to have to show out tonight. 11 of 14 times he does. I really like it. It is a good spot for him to go over in a must-win game against a Knicks team that shouldn't even have their starters on the court. So I like this right here a lot for him. Next, let's go with Pascal Siakam. It's going to be his first half, and we're going to go over his first half. Let's go with his PRA here. And if we look, going to go over this 5 of 5, the fantasy score 4 of 5. Now, you can take either one. I really don't mind. It's just like, he's a little more consistent with this one than he is on this one. So I'm going to take his over 17.5 first half PRA. He's going up against Boston again. We just took his full game fantasy score against them the other day and hit. So that 2 days ago that was. So, but tonight, Boston has nothing to play for. They should be sitting everyone that they can. Toronto has a ton to play for. They should be looking to absolutely dominate this game from the beginning and get their starters off of the court ASAP. So he dropped 19 on them 2 days ago when he played Boston on his last game. In the first half, he drops 19 PRA. Okay, that was against a few of their starters that they shouldn't have tonight. Toronto can still move up to the 8 seed which is huge. So here's Toronto. They can move up to the 8 seed on their playoff contention or their play-in contention, giving them one safer game of a cushion that they can lose and not be out. Right now where they sit, if they lose on the play-in tournament, they're out. So this is absolutely a must-win for them. We're not even going to look at the matchup DVP because we already know, we've seen it. He's going to go over this number, though, in 7 of his last 7 games. Over this 17.5 first half PRA. 7 of his last 7, 9 of his last 11. He's had a lot of success against Boston. Give me the over here. Pascal Siakam, 17.5 first half PRA. Give me the over. All right. Last pick here is going to be first half. Let's go Mikal Bridges over his 19.5 fantasy score in the first half. Going against the Magic tonight, Orlando shouldn't have much of their stars playing after they've been they're booted out of the playoffs now. They have no shot at making playoffs. And, their last game, if we look, right here on the projected lineups that RotoWire has, it's got their guys. Okay, so that's fine. I was going to say just a second ago it had them showing as very likely to play, which I was going to call BS on anyways, but now they've changed it to they're all out. Okay, so cool. So they're saying they're all out. Jamal Mosley, Orlando's coach, said he wants to get the bench guys some more minutes towards the end of the season anyway since they're out. The Nets need one win to stay safe away from Miami winning 2 in a row. So the Nets are at the 6th seed. Miami's at the 7th seed. If Miami wins one more game, they'll be tied with the Nets, which the Nets are fine with that because they have rights to the tiebreaker. But if Miami wins their next 2 games, that'll put them at more wins than Brooklyn. So if Brooklyn loses their last 2 games and Miami wins their last 2 games, Brooklyn's just found themselves a spot in the play-in tournament and out of the playoffs. Now, Miami can win out the season and have 45 wins. Brooklyn only needs to win 1 game of their next 2. And if we take a look at who they're playing, let's take a look real quick at who they're playing. Because I want to say their next game is a little tougher. So, like I said, the Magic is going to be the game that they're more than likely going to need to win. Yeah, see, the last game is going to be against the 76ers. This is going to be a lot tougher of a matchup than it is tonight against Orlando. So I see them needing to come out and kill them. Now, he does play them. It's 217 over under Brooklyn by 12.5. That's why we don't want to touch a full game PRA of his because he's going to get pulled. He played Orlando on February 26th, and that's his highest game right here. The best game that he's had is 30.3 fantasy points against them just a couple weeks ago on the 26th, and that was against their starters. He's going to go over this number 7 of his last 8 games. Take a look at the matchup really quick, even though we've already seen it. Against this shooting guard position, we'll just look at the last 7 right here. And points, they're giving up the Orlando's who we're looking for, giving up the 3rd most points, rebounds, giving up the 9th most rebounds, and assists, 11th most assists, fantasy points, the 4th most fantasy points to the shooting guard position. Now, of course, that's full game, doesn't matter. So that's going to be the last pick right there. I really like Mikal Bridges to go over his 19.5 first half fantasy score once again against them, where he absolutely killed it last time. So that's going to be the 4 plays for now. There's still a ton of props that I would love to see that aren't on there yet. So the Lakers, Sacramento, just because they're going to go up against Golden State tonight, and I need to know if they're going to sit their guys or not. Miami, there's nothing up for Miami, nothing up for Memphis, nothing up for Atlanta. So there's just a ton of plays that I would love to see, got teams that have a lot on the line tonight that they haven't released the props yet. So I'm absolutely going to be taking a look at those. If I don't have time for another video, y'all subscribe to the channel and put the notification bell on that, because I may just screenshot it and just post it in the community tab. If I don't have time to, process a whole other video today before anything gets bumped or anything like that. So y'all slap a sub on it. Keep your eyes peeled for it. But that is going to be it for today. So quick recap. We go Alperen Sengun over his 38.5 full game fantasy score. Brandon Ingram over his 19.5 first half PRA. Pascal Siakam over his 17.5 first half PRA. And Mikal Bridges over his 19.5 first half fantasy score. Guys, good luck tonight. Really hoping for a clean sweep here on this Flex Friday. Y'all don't forget about that promo. Sub to the channel, slap a like on the video, drop in the comments what you think, and good luck. Let's cash. Later, guys.